He has been in everything. And season four of Carl Weber's The Family Business. And Carl was in the studio when it first kicked off. They now got their fourth season, picks up where the third season is, and the patriarch of the Duncan family is here. Y'all may know him from Ghostbusters and a bunch of thousand other things, but today he is the Duncan family patriarch. Let me welcome the great Ernie Hudson.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to. I'm a fan of yours. I love you, and I'm so excited to talk to you.
How is this possible? How do you have time to listen to my show? When does this happen?
You know, I mean, I listen in the car. I listen in the bathroom. I listen to you. I just love you. I love you, and I love what you do. And I do a lot of this stuff, so I don't say that very often. So, but I really
you know what? Thank you. It's humbling because, you know, for many of us, we're seeing you through this lens, you know, whether it's Ghostbusters. For me, my favorite role was Grace and Frankie, where you played Lily Tomlin's paramour. I really loved that whole series because, you know, as I shared with the audience, my mom got remarried in her 70s, and it's wonderful to see her giddy and, you know, happy. And, you know, and we think after a certain age, people don't get busy, you know.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see people getting busy, and you're getting busy in many ways. I'm
very blessed. Yeah, I'm very blessed. It was a great time for me.
So talk about it. Before we get into the family business, let's get into your business a little bit, just a smidge. I just want to peek in because you know, you have been doing this for a while. Let's go back to Yale. Let's go back to Yale. Right, because people don't know, you know, you're an actual thespian that studied at Yale, you know, and got to all of the things. When you were a student at Yale, did you ever think you would be on Ghostbusters?
Yeah, you know, I've been working in Detroit. I got into theater at Wayne State University, and I worked with Concept East Theater. I did a lot of theater. And so by the time I got to Yale, Yale wasn't really the best place for me. I was there for a year, but I was already married. I had 2 kids. The marriage ended, and I ended up being a single dad, and I kind of had to leave, came out to LA. But I just, you know, I always knew what I wanted to do, kind of, but never knew how. And I realized I never had to know how. I just had to trust God, and the universe would figure it out. And I just had to be prepared. So when the opportunity came, you know, all that stuff that we all know. But Yale was a good. It was a good lesson in Yale to learn. You know, just because a place seems to be the best place for you is not necessarily the best place.
You just said a word that I want to dig into, but I won't. Being a father raising children, and then having a dream that seems unreasonable to the world, right? Like, because I mean, maybe 1% of people who want to be actors, you know, who are waiters, ever become actually paid actors, sustainably paid actors, you know, like to make a living doing it, not just as a hobby that you do in between, you know, working as a waiter or, you know, someplace.
Right.
How did you take that leap? Because that took a lot of courage.
It took a lot of courage, especially when people around your family, they don't see what you see. You know, I used to always say, I don't need to change the industry or do a lot of jobs. I just need one job. You know, I need this to feed the kids. I need this to pay the rent, to keep the phone on. And I trust that that the universe will figure it out. I know that this is my calling. This is what I'm supposed to do. And and you know, I didn't have a dad. You know, I didn't grow up with you know, I never knew my dad. My mom died when I was 3 months old. My grandmother raised me, and she just would always tell me that the universe is personal, and it's aware of you, and it is a resource that will not fail you if you just trust in that, and I always have.
I love your backstory, and I could sit with you at your feet because I feel like we don't spend enough time talking with folk who have gone through some things, you know, to learn these lessons. But I know you're here to promote, so I want to make sure that people know what's happening with season 4, which I think is fascinating that you and Stan Shaw, like, all right, are going head to, it's like a Game of Thrones situation happening. I have to give
Yeah.
the reference. You and Stan Shaw, he's playing your brother, which I think the casting is brilliant, by the way. I see it.
That's right.
Had y'all's paths crossed before the family business, before this?
We never worked together. I've known Stan for, I don't know, 50. I've known him for a real long time. I just love his work. I've actually been standing talking to Stan, and someone came up to him and congratulated him on his work on The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. So we must look alike or something.
Yeah. No, that casting, I was like, oh, Carl Weber done figured something out. Yeah, no, y'all could pass for brothers for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's such an amazing actor. And, I took this show because wanted to be a part of this show because it's about family at the heart of it, in spite of all the other stuff. But as family, and the last 3 seasons has been about that, how close we are. But now we all have that family that's a little bit crazy. And so Stan is that element of the family that has issues. And this season is probably the most intense. It is the most intense season. I was surprised what Carl came up with. So I was really excited to work with him.
Well, Carl's been doing this for a while. I know him from my publishing days, of course. And this, for people out there, this is what it looks like when you write books that people care about, and then it turns into this. Carl Weber's The Family Business, and the cast. Okay, so you have my one of my favorite all times, Valerie Pettiford, of course, plays your lovely wife. Yeah. You have Sean Ringgold, who was on with Carl when y'all first launched. Right. The great Tammy Roman, who I think she's in so many things right now with Pat, and there's an Apple TV series where she's playing the wife of the main character, played by Octavia Spencer, her dad. She's playing her stepmom on that, and she's doing an amazing job. Tammy is underrated, I think. I
agree.
Nasty.
Yeah. I think all these actors on this show.
I was going to go down. Miguel Nunez, y'all know him for Juana Man and a bunch of other stuff. Of course, this you got guest appearances. Bernadette Stanis, who was Thelma on Good Times. Come on, y'all got Tretch on there this season. Michael Jai White, Lisa Ray, and the great Clifton Powell, who stop everything. Just stop.
Right. Yeah, it's an opportunity for so many actors who've been wanting, who don't get a chance to work, or if they do work, now to get a chance to do characters that are real, that are dimensional. And so we get a chance to come and play together. And I'm so just honored to be in the mix. I mean, really, really, just wonderful people to play with.
So how does this rank? You've been on a lot of things. You've been on a lot of things, a lot of TV things, a lot of movie things.
Yes.
To star. Because even back in the day when you were, the Warden of Oz and, all of these TV shows and iconic roles that you've played, even Ghostbusters, you are the man. How, after all of these years, does it feel redemptive?
Well, it's, I just work, I mean? So I feel blessed. It's because so much has changed in television and film. There's so much diversity. I'm seeing Black folk in places that I never even imagined. I mean, we don't have to go far back. You go back 10 years and I'm like, oh, that'll never happen. And it's happening. And there's so much opportunity. I hope that doesn't, America has a way of drying things up real fast, but hopefully this is the beginning. And I'm seeing so many talented people. And I guess, and I'm just thankful to still be doing what I do.
I knew something cracked when, Carl Weber got the levers of power there. But, we've seen it with Ava DuVernay and Lena Waithe, and now Quinta Brunson on network, and Gina Yashere on network. Black people producing shows. You got Sally Richardson Whitfield, directing like big mega, wrinkle, like all of this stuff. And maybe it's, we have to make it forever. Like we can't allow America to dry it up. We can't.
Yeah, no. After Roots came out, we thought, oh my God, Roots is out. And it's going to be so much work. And no, it went just the opposite. Everything dried up. You know, I'm thankful I was one of the few actors who was worked during that period, but things dried up and we got sold on this. It's black exploitation, and black people started saying that and suddenly they want to see stuff. We have to make sure that this reflects who we are and that we support it. And because it, at the bottom line, it gets to is money. And so if you love it, support it, talk about it, write about it, and keep it going, because yeah, it's an exciting new time, but we have to really get the people that you love, because if you don't like a show, that's a different thing. But if you love the show and you love the people, you'll let them know, let the studios know. That's where you do your voting in this industry. It's really important.
Well, I encourage my audience to be strategic, even if it's not your flow, because everything's not for everybody. Set the DVR and hit play.
Yeah.
Record it and hit play. Just let it run. You got
Yeah.
50 other TVs in your house. Let it run. Let it run, because these streaming platforms, they calculate this matters. It's not like Nielsen's where they come in. It's these numbers matter.
Right. Yeah. And you do a great job. I'm watching some shows that you've talked about on your show that I would not have known about. You know, so much is happening out there. How do you know? Well, you know, the people you value and you trust their judgment, and you've talked about stuff, watching that space thing now that they got
For All Mankind. I was checking that out for All Mankind, right? So in that on Apple TV, they've already gone to Mars and the moon a bunch of times. And now we had to suspend the whole mission because of some malfunction. But the whole goal is to go back to the moon for the first black woman on the moon. I was like, man, y'all are behind. For All Mankind already did that. We got black women on Mars. So stop it. Yeah, we got to catch up with Hollywood.
And I think the United States. My wife was saying, "Oh, they're gonna launch. They must be watching the show." You know, so it's it's an amazing industry. People get ideas and learn ways to look at life from watching this stuff, and it's important.
Ernie Hudson listens to the Karen Hunter show, y'all. He just brought up my what to watch list, which means he also listens on Foolishness Friday, which all right, I'm not going to get into all of that. Okay. Every time you come on, I look at you and because I know what year you were born, but I feel like you might be a vampire, and I keep saying this because you look the damn same. So, and I just always want to know, like, what are you doing? Like, is this, because I don't see any pulls and tucks. I'm looking around the ear area. I don't know. Yeah. Is this just the working out? It's like, what's happening?
No, I don't really work out, but I do pray, and I do.
So you saying, wait, hold on. Jesus is the moisturizer?
I give thanks every day. If there's something I, know to do, I'll do it. But I think it's important to, you had a guest on, I apologize, I can't remember her name. She was talking about living life on purpose. She did it on purpose. And that was like, that took purpose from a negative to a positive. I thought, that to live your life on purpose, to be intentionally, my grandmother said, Jesus is the light of the world. She said, but we're all lights of the world. So baby, all I want for you is that you be an example of what's possible. And so to be an old black man, but a healthy old black man, a black man with some money, a black man who ain't been to jail, black man have children who are all positive citizens, healthy, kind people. I want to be an example of what is possible, and to be, that's what I do. And I give thanks every day, and try not to, that thing, I think I saw it on your show as well. We're talking about, the saying of how do you find oxygen at the bottom of the ocean? You bring it with you. And so that light that we all have, some people want to focus on the darkness, but focusing on that light and making sure that light is always there. And that's the health, that's the healing. Just to just know that it is, we are here, it's a blessing. And to live on purpose, that's what I think it's about.